Welcome to this special episode of the Baskis 360 podcast, where we explore stories that matter. Stories of service, resilience, and community. Today, we are shining a spotlight on a powerful initiative, the Montrose Veterans Memorial. This project, led by the Montrose Veterans Memorial Coalition, also known as MVMC, is dedicated to honoring the sacrifices of those who have served in the United States Armed Forces. The memorial will feature black granite panels etched with images spanning from World War I through the global War on Terror, alongside embedded service seals. Designed as a place of reflection, healing, and learning, this memorial will ensure that the legacy of our veterans stands strong for generations to come. But to bring this vision to life, they need your help. MVMC is actively raising $100,000 to cover the manufacturing and shipping costs of these panels. You can donate today by visiting montrosevmc.us. That is montrosevmc.us. Additionally, you can honor a loved one by purchasing a memorial brick for $125. Each brick allows for 3 lines of customizable text and will be a permanent part of the memorial plaza. For more details or to speak with a board member, call 970-765-2210. Every contribution, big or small, makes a difference. In this special episode, your host, Steve Baskis, will be speaking with 2 key individuals leading the construction and development of this memorial. We will discuss its design, the impact it will have on the Montrose community, and how you can be part of this lasting tribute. Stay with us. This is an episode you will not want to miss.
Hello, everybody. It's great to have you here in the studio, Les and J. Bob. I wanted to ask you guys some questions about the Montrose Veterans Memorial. But first, before we get there, can you guys both introduce yourself? And Les, why don't you take the first stab at it?
Okay, my name is Les Williams, and I'm a retired colonel from the United States Marine Corps. So go easy on me.
And J. Bob?
Yeah, J. Bob Brewski. I'm ex-Army and served Vietnam, along with Les did also. And I am the chairman of the board of the coalition.
Thank you guys for your service, and thank you for coming today to share everything about this project. And anybody, whoever wants to take this question first, but can you share the vision, what the vision was and why this project came to be?
Well, the history is, it goes back to a fellow by the name of former Marine who was an F4 mechanic, and then took over when he got out of the Marine Corps. And he's the executive director of the Warrior Center at that time. It was his vision. And essentially what it was that he had, like us, you look around town and there's no memorials that are to speak of. And so it was his vision to go to the city council and say, we need a veterans memorial. And that was in early 2021. And they had granted his request for land to build it on. And then, of course, it would be turned over to the city. However, Mike had a terrible stroke that has him in a wheelchair, and he has complications. Comes to our meetings still. He's still the founder of this, and he's been on top of it. I personally call him all the time and let him know where we're at. And I think that there was a group of guys that now are part of the board of directors that decided to pick up the pace here and go with it. And so we took over, formed the 501c3, and got busy.
Yeah, so what is the current status of the project, and have you hit some of the milestones that you've wanted to hit?
Okay. Well, we started off at a location of Cerise Park, and with various complications, it turned out that we couldn't really build the memorial that we envisioned there. So we started pulling out of it, started to look at some other opportunities. Well, then the city came back to us and says, we still want to be part of this and do a team with the coalition, the city, and the county. So they came to us a year ago, December. On that, city came up with a location, which now is on the west side of the Botanical Gardens, south end of the parking lot of the pavilion, which is just an outstanding location. Everybody loves it on the team, and has a killer view of the San Juans from there. It's just going to be spectacular. So anyhow, we've moved forward. We have another meeting tomorrow with the construction people that are going to be kind of project managers, you may say, on this, and so we can kind of get going and hope to break ground sometime this spring, and midsummer be able to have a dedication ceremony. We have gone forward as a coalition, and we have the panels that we're working with an organization called PG Memorials, and they're going to be granite stones, 4 feet wide, 6 feet tall, and it'll have laser engraving on both sides. The front side will depict events during each conflict: World War I, II, Korea, Vietnam, Gulf War, and Global War on Terror. The reverse side will have maps and things like, what happened, time frames, stuff like that on there. So they're really beautiful stones. They're really awesome. We made the down payment on those already. The bricks, which we're still selling, we're at a little over 400 right now. And that's what we'll do on the first dedication. We'll be turning in the brick order at the end of this month to be able to make time frames is where we're at. And I'm in the process of getting proposals on the helicopters. So we're going to get a couple of proposals on the helicopter and decide where we're going to go on that. So that's pretty much where we're kind of the main part of it, don't you think, Les?
Yeah, it's categorized pretty quickly, and this meeting that we're getting ready for tomorrow, hopefully we'll drop dead dates type thing of getting things done, and so that we have goals, all of us. We have a team here. We started out just as the group of the coalition, and then we joined the city in, and then when we left Cerise Park, we went to the county commissioners, and now that's the team that's putting this together. And so we think that the project and the designs and everything that we have for pre-construction is pretty well done. And so we'll see now what the costs are.
So yeah, my question is then, how is this memorial being funded? And are there any fundraising efforts underway?
Well, I think J. Bob and I will tell you that you're talking to the ones who are funding it right now. That's what we do 24/7 as we seek donations from people. As J. Bob talked about the bricks, it has been the steadiest form of money for us, so that we can continue some administrative affairs. And it also allows some people, the average citizen in Montrose and up and down the West Slope, to participate. The bricks are $125, and they can write what they want on there to a loved one and the service they did for the country and all those other things.
Awesome. Well, then that makes me think of how can businesses here in Montrose, organizations in the community get involved, on a larger level. Are you guys talking to, are any of the businesses here in town helping with the construction as well?
Yes. DMEA Power Company has been a great sponsor. They've done, I think it's $20,000 towards the memorial. Spectrum Communications was another big donor. And then we've had some good individuals here, anywhere from like, I guess, significant people, what you would call them, would be from $5,000 on up to like $10,000. We also had a anonymous donor of $50,000 that we don't know who it is, but they wanted to be part of it. So, and the only thing we know is they're out of state. So that's how much we're reaching out to everybody on this.
Absolutely. Are there any key initiatives or upcoming events specifically that you want to mention to the public right now, and anybody that might be listening?
Yep, absolutely. Thursday night, J-Bob and I will be at the Chamber of Commerce Business Expo at the Pavilion between 4 and 7 p.m. We have a booth there, and so do 120 other people that have business community there.
Is this an ongoing thing that you try to do often throughout the different months here in the year?
Yeah, we pay pretty close, a lot more attention now than we ever have of big gatherings, such as that wonderful auto show in the autumn of the year up in Telluride, and this one because they're just forming the Chamber of Commerce now, so we'll be knocking on doors, and in this case on tables, without having to walk all over town, which we had planned to do this winter anyhow. And this inflation has hurt donations, and we understand that completely. It is our interest and our pressure that we try to push, because we don't know how much the city's going to donate or the county. There's promises of that, and we're grateful for anything. But we're working with what we want to be the very best memorial, and maybe in Colorado, and we think we've got that done. Now, how do you do that on a beer budget? Well, you continue to push through that and talk to people, and all of a sudden somebody comes up and they want to have coffee with us. They want to talk to us. And we are extremely grateful for those folks.
No, thank you. I guess final question really is, if you could leave the public with one key message about this memorial, what would it be?
Well, I guess I would say that we believe that a nation who forgets their warriors won't be a nation very long. And forgetting a warrior is what we're trying to avoid by this. And we want everybody, as J. Bob had talked about the panels we have, it honors those who served in World War I, all the way up to the global war on terror. And it's if you served during that time, you may not have served in combat, and maybe you did a job in the United States that helped the guys in the desert. They can walk in with their grandchildren or children and point to that particular item on there and say, that's what I did in the global war on terror. So everybody gets the emotional impact of this. And it is. We're going to do a ceremony of the tribute bricks shortly after this thing is opened up and the ribbon cutting is all done. I have been involved in this before at Angel Fire, New Mexico, with Run for the Wall. We place the bricks up there every year in Labor Day. And I've warned all the volunteers that are going to do this that when you're carrying that brick or giving that brick over to that woman who's a widow from a war or whatever, that it's very emotional. So stand by for that. And but sometimes emotions are important in this thing. in remembrance, and that's what we're trying to do.
And it includes everybody that served. Excuse me. Even those that during peacetime, Cold War, whatever. If you served, you enlisted, drafted, whichever the case was, you served. And like Les says, it took all types of jobs to support everybody.
And we even have a really interesting one. And when we open this up, I will talk to the crowd about this. There is a picture on the World War II panel that we chose to have on there. It's a picture of Rosie the Riveter on there. She's up on the wing. Actually, there's two of them. They're up on the wing with riveting going on, as you can see. Well, we have a Rosie who works Mondays at the Warrior Center as a volunteer. She's 100 years old. Her name is Betty Hayes, and she's a wonderful woman. She helped us pick this out. And I told her, I said, Betty, I said, what does this look like to you? Is this, the real deal here? And she said, absolutely. She said, but I think those girls probably don't have a little thing on their hair, because that we had to do that. Well, if you look really close at it, they do. So she was okay and forgiving of it. She said, but that's it. That's what I did. And she worked on the B-24s. And we have a 101-year-old World War II veteran, Babe. And we will have them at the opening for sure, and treat them with the honor they deserve.
I thank you both for honoring veterans and remembering them and trying to build something so great that will stand tall and last into time. I think this is truly my final question, really, is there any particular contact information you want to put out there if for some reason someone wants to donate money or contribute in some form or fashion, an email address, a phone number, a website? Is there something that you can say?
The Montrose Veterans Memorial Coalition .us. You can abbreviate that and get into the website.
All right. Thank you so very much. Well, I appreciate you guys being on the show, and we'll do this again maybe as things progress, so that people can be more aware of what's going on and how the whole project is coming to fruition. But thank you, J. Bob and Les, for your words.
Well, thank you for having us on and your support.
Yep. Thanks, Steve. We appreciate it.
Yep.
You're welcome.